Wakanda packages. I'm in Atlanta, baby. This is Africa. I'm not married. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8, okay.
No, baby, it's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Would you consider me a high value man?
High valued or high functioning?
Yeah, speed.
I'm poking speed.
We going there. Hold on. Let me take this.
So let me finish
Let me
this.
take this. Let me take this glove off.
Let me finish this point. I say this with all respect and love. What I'm about to say next, okay, Cam?
I done let you off the hook on numerous times.
Have you? And I gave you a simple answer.
That was not simple.
I want to respond to something.
So I would say it this way. I mean, you've obviously been vocal in talking about running away from things and doing this, it being trauma. Do you have a tangible source in your life, ever had a tangible source in your life that you can touch, see, feel, experience what true love actually is, a healthy relationship?
Yes.
Who is that?
Yes. My grandmother and my father. And now that my mom is sober, my mother. But in her addiction, it was my grandmother who raised me and my father, thank God, who didn't allow me to be a fatherless girl, and we were best friends.
No.
You're talking about a romantic relationship?
Yes. That relationship
love
where
that.
we're talking about, the question was, were your parents married, right? And they weren't, so that having an impact on
Right.
you, and that's why you strung them shoestrings up tight.
Yeah.
But I'm like, have you being who you are and knowing the right things and unpacking and this.
Knowing them now.
Knowing them now.
Yes.
Have you identified someone
Yes.
that you can touch, that you can call, that you know that is what you want to be? Like, instead of running away from something, you running to
it.
something that you're like, I want that. And who is that for you?
So it is not an individual, no. It's still an ideology. It's still something that I've created in my mind. And so there's not a person that I look at and I say this very humbly, besides myself, because I've done a hell of a job of working through my pain pockets. I've done a hell of a job of getting myself to a place of thriving and no longer surviving. And so that person is me. I look at myself and I say, I want to be you. I look at myself and I say, you know, I love you. I look at myself and I thank that little girl for surviving. And then that little girl looks at that woman and she says, thank you for learning to thrive, because now I'm able to be a little girl and do the things I can do. And I no longer have to protect you as a woman and show up in your relationships, because there's no place for a little girl or a child in adult relationships, not just only romantically, but professionally. And so I would honestly have to say that that woman would be me, working through, you know, conditions of love and coming to a place of self-love. Yeah, 100%. I am who I want to be.
Okay,
I'm
so
her.
this is a trigger for me. Because if you've never witnessed it firsthand, a healthy relationship, you find that source in yourself, which I...
Well, I never said I haven't witnessed a healthy relationship. Is there a person,
Tangible
you said,
source.
tangible source that I look at where I'd want to emanate or be like? No. I've witnessed healthy relationships, yes, and I've been in healthy relationships, yes. But anything that I've witnessed as far as a person that I want to be like or emanate, I don't have that. No.
So
Anything that I've witnessed as far as a person.
it's triggering to hear that, knowing that if things get shaky, rocky, everybody wants somebody so they can run off in the sunset with.
With, keyword with.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right.
this is the thing, though. And my mom is an angel. And I always love having real conversations with my mom. She's a church-going, God-fearing woman. All she knows is my dad. And I use her for a source of wisdom, and she used me for a source to stay hip.
Nice.
And she says this about relationships. everybody wants to find a happy ending.
Right.
And they want to find heaven in a person, right? And run off in the sunset. But the reality is nobody wants to find somebody who's worth going to hell for. That's real love. Because that's understanding that you're not a finished product.
Right.
You're worth finding the best version of you.
Of yourself, yes.
And you running away or not having a person in your life that can assist, help, you go to and say, girl, let me tell you, Tyrone, he doing it again. What do you do like when Tyrone ain't answering his phone and I know he say he at work, but I don't know, I done looked at the other girl Instagram and they in the same blah, blah, blah. You know how
I get what you're saying.
detective women can be. Like, I need, the FBI need to hire more black women because they gonna figure something out.
Right.
The black woman I know, strong, very curious, detective, go gadget information. They gonna figure that out. But you not having that source in the time of need, not when everything's good. We don't need no more invitations to the wedding or to the anniversary or to the party or to this or to that. We need people who gonna help me when I need help in an unconventional or when the situation is not so much straight and narrow.
Right.
That's why it's triggering to me.
So let me hear you correct. It's triggering to you because what you hear me saying, which sounds like we have a little slight disconnect. What you hear me saying is that I don't have a go-to person when Tyrone, which I don't have a Tyrone, thank God, or something is off kilter in my world, that you hear me saying I don't have a go-to person or a resource that can help me process through that.
Correct.
Okay.
Or I can also add to that, you don't have a healthy ecosystem where, I'll give you an example.
No, I got you.
Staying on point is
Go ahead.
quick. So if I take a relationship serious with an individual, it's going to be hard for that individual to understand or to fight for something if her resources are single women.
I agree.
Are bachelorettes.
I agree.
Are divorcees.
I agree.
Are certain situations, and I'm like,
100%.
so they say birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you're the only good girl out of all these?
And another thing, people give advice from their results. Right. So every day we live in the results of our decisions, and so they're giving you advice on things they have experience in. If it's single, it's experience in being single. If it's married, it's advice from a married woman. So what I'm saying is, yes, I have a strong support system. I have a healthy ecosystem. I have people that I do go to. And the Bible says, do I seek wise counsel? Yes. And I have wise counsel within my world and within my foundation.
So
now,
you have them now? Or?
Yes, I have them now. Yes, I have that.
But when I just asked you,
No, that's not what you asked me, or how I received it was, is there anyone who I look to that I'd want to be like or admire? I don't have that. That person would be myself. But as far as a support system, not only do I have a therapist, not only do I have a pastor, not only do I have a mother, and I have a circle of wealth, which I call friends and support system, who, male and female, single and married, who, that's why I said, some do have healthy relationships and some don't have healthy relationships, but they're all part of my ecosystem. Again, contrast, the person who doesn't have a healthy relationship is also teaching me things on what not to do and things I may not want to do. Folks like your mom, who are extremely wise, who, you know, are still, I'm guessing from what you said, still with your dad.
Right.
She has a different perspective that definitely adds to, you know, me processing through my journey and what that looks like. So I have a very equally yoked circle of resources that help me through whatever I'm going through for the clarity. But do I have somebody who I look to that I want to be like? That person is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Now, I want to respond to something. You said there's a lot of that black women, and I know it was a joke, but being serious, black women are women, you know, folks would hire to do the detective investigative work. Because they're going to find out anything. They're going to be on social media, Instagram, cell phones, all that. They're going to piece it together. They're going to figure it out. See, that's the dysfunction that I'm talking about is an issue.
Okay.
And that's also when I'm referring to low functioning behaviors. That's a choosing issue. First of all, not that I'm better than any other woman. or they're better than me, I'm not choosing a man that I have to become a detective to. Even the men I called off weddings from, to their defense, just because I called it off doesn't mean they weren't good men. I'm choosing men who I can be a wife or a woman to. I'm not choosing a man that I can be a detective to. So when women are choosing men, I think that certain things to become aware of are, do I have to go into my detective, which is my trauma? Do I have to go into my investigative, which is my dysfunction? Yeah. Because if so, that man is triggering and bringing those things up. And he only brings those things up in you because those things are in him. Yeah. And start trusting your spirit more, ladies. And this is another thing. Women with daddy issues are going to be okay with being an investigator and a detective, because oftentimes, remember, they have learned subconsciously how to investigate and detective, why is daddy not here in the household? So it doesn't make me say, why would they not grow up thinking the norm is to wonder where you're at, to wonder what you're doing, and to wonder why you're not there, and think that that's okay based on their norm of daddy issues. I have a father who we were best of friends, who was extremely, extremely involved in my life. A father, a daddy, everything. So I never had to wonder or investigate my father. I never had to wonder or investigate his motives with me. Mm-hmm. So I don't navigate the world thinking that that's the norm to try to figure out or investigate on social media, through your cell phone, through anything, what your motives are, who you are, what are you doing. That is an unhealthy relationship. That is your trauma and your pain choosing for you. And I would offer that any woman who's in that situation get help. Leaving isn't easy. And to learn how to choose different, learn how to choose better, because you deserve better. And let me go further. The man who you're investigating or you're feeling like you have to do these things with, and you can't just be in a safe space, you can't nest him, he also deserves better. And his getting better is you pivoting and leaving and telling him that he needs to get some help before he can be with a woman who is of your caliber. When I say your caliber, who's willing to get help for yourself, so you choose different. Daddy issues don't mean you got to be with your daddy. It just means you got to take inventory of what daddy, who you didn't have, looks like, and stop choosing that kind of man. Next question.
Y'all know I love going to live events, whether it's football, concerts, or comedy shows. There's nothing like being in the crowd and feeling the energy. One of my favorite memories was me in the student section at the Auburn, Georgia game last year. And I'm always looking forward to creating those same type of moments this year. That's why I'm all about Game Time. They got this new feature called Game Time Picks to make it super easy to grab the best deals on tickets. You don't have to waste time searching for a bunch of options. They filter out the fluff and only show you the best deals. And the deals were unbeatable. The super deal that I found was exceptional. Plus, the all-in pricing means no surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code FUNKY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So create an account and redeem code FUNKY for $20 off last-minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Download Game Time today.
My boxing glove's still on. Dang. Yeah. And I for the sake of my cigar, I mean,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's about to get there. I just want to ask a simple question.
And it's going to be a simple answer.
Hopefully within the time frame of me smoking this cigar. Do you want to get married?
Hard yes. Absolutely want to get married.
So my question is, if you've never seen a healthy marriage, how are you able to identify one?
So let me answer again. I didn't grow up in the household where a healthy marriage was something that was present for learned behavior. I am 41 years old. I'm an adult who has done a lot of work. So in today's world, with my work and my healing and my old friends who I have now made new friends, I now have, and I do see healthy relationships.
But none that you want to be like, yo,
no, because
I like what y'all have.
Right.
I want to emulate that.
No, and it's not because what they have isn't healthy. It's because I have a strong sense of self. And I'm not knocking people who look to other people and say, I would like that, or I get what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have a strong sense of self. And I don't want what someone else has. I want what is aligned in God's will for me is. And so I have a strong understanding that what's for me ain't gonna look like your healthy relationship. And if I get caught up in, I want that, or I want it to mirror that, then I may be looking and meeting my husband saying, you don't fit this box, which is called compartmentalizing. And my husband, who's God sending to me after all my work, doesn't need to fit a box. He needs to come authentically who he is. And my job is to love him where he is, how he is, and pray on the ways that I don't understand, because I'm not supposed to lean onto my own understanding. I'm supposed to trust God in all his ways. And when doing that, that means I'm not looking for anything externally to idolize. When I have myself in God and I know that who my husband is, I will feel it. I don't have to see it in someone else's world. And the other thing is we got to be careful with wanting what somebody else has from the optics, because it could look like we want this beautiful mansion and we go in that house, excuse my language, that motherfucker's more homeless than people who sleep on the street. Because just because you got 4 walls and you have a marble floors and you have a gated home and you have a 10,000 or 20,000 square foot home doesn't mean that thing ain't more homeless than the person who's in a high-rise apartment, or a person who's in a single apartment living in downtown LA and they're a student who's poor, okay? That has nothing to do with it. So I'd rather have a little apartment with my husband and baby, we got wealth, than be in a big mansion like a lot of people have done and be homeless in that thing. And I'm sitting here creating this image for my people to admire me, but I'm dying in the inside. When you talk about resources and people, I don't want no friends around me who can see me as a mansion, but let me die as a homeless person internally. I'm good. And nor do I want to be the woman who says, I want what Cam and this woman has, not knowing that when this woman goes wherever she's going, she's really speaking the real about what y'all got going, but she's not gonna tell me, because she wants me to keep feeding her trauma, which is that mask and that costume she's wearing, to make people think that relationship is good. I'll pass. I'll take what God has for me, and I will continue to pray for those who I see have a healthy relationship and support them. But I don't want nothing nobody has, because it's not mine. And if it ain't yours, y'all, you can't keep it. You can't sustain it. So stop wanting things that ain't yours. Stop wanting things that don't belong to you. That's called despair. Get you some help. Get you some healing, get you a sense of self, and start wanting things that are yours. And then you may not end up with a man who's beating your ass because you thought he was putting her on jets and buying her Birkin bags and taking her to nice restaurants when she was going home getting her ass beat. But you wanted it though, right? Be careful what you ask for. Start asking God, reveal to me what I'm saying I want, so I understand the transparency of it. God, reveal to me what's mine, so I can have that. And I don't end up praying to you to get out of it. And I don't rush to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama or a baby daddy. We don't want what nobody else has. We want what's ours, because that is good enough. I caught that pic.
You caught the pig. Just because you talking loud,
I wasn't loud.
Just because your voice is inflected.
I wasn't loud.
Just because you're leaning forward to your camera.
I wasn't loud.
Doesn't mean you just caught a pig.
I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people who
All
want
I'm
to get
trying
it right.
to say is you took something completely out of context when I said your resources around you that you said.
Yes. We cleared that up though.
Yeah, but the resources that you have around you of healthy relationships,
They are.
not that you want that. You said, you took what I said and yeah, I said, I want that, but it's not, I want what they have.
I don't.
It's more of an admiration for what they have.
No.
And it's like, yo, like I admire that about their relationship.
There you go. Now, hold on, that's no, because the latter part, I have single girlfriends I admire how they are as women. I have married girlfriends who I do admire their relationship, meaning I love that it's healthy for you. I love that you and him
Yeah, but
are
you're
doing
talking about
this.
mansions and beating and all that.
Cam,
I ain't mentioned none of that.
Cam,
I just said.
Cam, if it went over your dreadlocks, bring it back.
Yeah,
Let's
but
stay
you're
here.
talking about you catching pics, but you just over here just, you on a TV timeout.
Cam, we're not on the football field. Let's bring it back here.
Yeah,
I
but you
took it
used
to the
that-
football field. I'm sorry. We're back here. I brought it back, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not fleeing. I'm here.
Say that.
I'm here. Yeah.
So all I was saying is you saying that that's what I like is more of a wordplay to saying I admire what they have and I want to implement that into my relationship as well. single people can't coach relationship people. And I think that is what happens too often. So when I'm asking questions about resources, when I'm asking questions about you, hard yes for a married man, I'm saying I'm triggered when I hear that as a man. When I ask you, do you have healthy marriages that you've seen, witnessed, been a part of, or admired? And you clearly said no.
And I clearly said yes. But my admiration doesn't go as far as, in your exact words, I would want that. No, I don't want anything that somebody else is. I want to help them have more of the good stuff.
Okay.
Okay? But in the sense of, you know, again, people who are doing well, married or not, but I want to go back to what you said is triggering to you, because I love that you said that. And a lot of people think that, you know, and it's not wrong. I get it. You know, a single woman or even a woman with no kids, how can she coach or therapy a woman who is a mother? Or a single woman, how can she coach or therapy or help or be a psychologist with people who are having marital issues?
You're single.
I'm single.
Okay.
Yes, I'm single. And so I love what you're saying, because I don't know what other therapists, psychologists, or coaches do, but I don't coach married couples. Stick with me. People come to me who are married. I'm helping each of them process their own stuff. Because what a marriage is, and your mama will know it because she's a church woman, and from what she said beyond
39
wise.
years
right.
of marriage.
And even what she said about marriage, everybody want to go to heaven, but you know, there's a lot of hell in it, and love that. She said that. Marriage, like the Bible says, is cleaving. Cleaving does this. Cleaving does this. Cleaving doesn't do this. And so when people come to me married, they're doing similar to Mama's statement. They're coming to me like this. And so I'm not counseling married couples. I'm counseling individuals who are coming with so many issues within themselves that they married on paper, but they ain't never even had a chance to be married mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, intellectually, in any way. But what happens is, as I help them as individuals process through their traumas and their pain and their intergenerational issues, they magically usually cleave, or not many, but some, depart. Because you cannot cleave without shedding. And the shedding that cleaving takes is the shedding of your stuff, your ego, your emotions, your trauma, your pain pockets. And when you shed of that, the cleaving was already waiting there for you. So it's not that anyone, even other therapists, are teaching married people how to cleave or be married. They're really breaking down the barriers that people have that are keeping them from being loving or in love, or like Mom said, keeping them from going not only to heaven, but sometimes taking that detour to hell just to get to heaven again, just to get back to hell, to get back to heaven. Yeah. And so I don't teach them how to be married, because I don't think that's something that can be taught. I think that comes through each individual marriage couple, because there's not one way to do it. I'm helping them break down the barriers that are keeping them from what they really want, which is to be safe, to be in love, to go to this heaven space, but to learn how to have the bandwidth to get through the journey of hell that comes as well.
Yeah, I must ask this question, because I'm a product of this.
Yeah.
Has your profession affected your outlook on a relationship?
100%.
How?
My husband will be very, very grateful to all of my clients these past 16, 17 years, because my female clients have helped shape me to have more compassion. It has helped shape me to have better understanding of the pressures and the seasons that come in motherhood, that come in marriage. And my male clients, particularly my Black male clients, the married ones, have really gave me insight on the weight that comes with being a husband, being a father, how much they really are giving their all and trying their best, but it looks different to her. And so learning how to read and communicate, Cam, what does it mean when you text me randomly throughout the day and just say, what are you doing? Is that a message, what are you doing, is that a message where you're just trying to tell me, baby, I love you, but you didn't say the words? So if I know that what are you doing means I love you, as your wife, the Bible says, love you by knowledge of you, not understanding, knowledge. I now know how to code that. So that helps me not personalize, but you ain't doing it my way. But you didn't say, I love you. And you saying, but baby, I say what you're doing, and that means I love you. So my clients have helped me dissipate my ego. And they have helped me not only gain a sense of self, but understand the different languages that men can speak. Also, it's allowed me to have more compassion and break my fairy tale ideology that women have. I always say this, men get married and become a father and go, oh, shoot, okay, I didn't know it was gonna take all of this. Game time, let me try to figure this out. Let me try to see if I can do this and do that and get the car and do this and love her more and balance all this. Women, we meet you and we're like, our idea and our fairy tale is you are Prince Charming, honey. And then we try to get you to fit Prince Charming, and the more you don't fit it, the more y'all end up in my office going, but he doesn't do this. Well, has he ever did it? No, but I always just thought my husband would, your husband or this man? So are you getting to know who you with, or are you making this man fit this fairy tale ideology that doesn't even exist anyways? And so women come and lead with, fit this, or you have no value. Men come in and go, all right, I'm here, and I'm gonna learn how to be the best I can for you. And then women do what? You're taking too long. You're not getting there because you haven't fit the box of the fairy tale. So for me, it's helped me break down what all of my clients know. Y'all know I call it the fairy tale ideology. And I'm not exaggerating, Cam. I wanna say 100%, but I'm gonna go 99.9% of women who come in my office, I'm having to work on breaking their fairy tale ideology of their husband. And hold on, let me say this. To his defense, they almost always have an amazing husband. But because his amazingness doesn't fit her idea of amazing, guess what? He ain't shit to her. And remember, have no emotional investment besides I really want them to get this, work through this. I'm going, so because he don't fit your tone of red, you gonna tell me this man still ain't red?
He burgundy, though.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, he there.
Drinking and driving is a decision that could change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI. Because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way. Your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing damaged in that crash. You can face a life-altering injury or potentially death. But you're not the only one that could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call a sober ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Two things that I really want to ask or must ask in this situation. First, in regards to the women. I don't really want to attack or, you know, really speak on your clientele, but obviously with my research, you spoke about low functioning individuals, male and female. What's the percentage of males or females that you counsel that are low functioning? What's that percentage?
Love it. Collectively, or you want me to go male and female?
Break it down from male and female.
Okay. I would say, interesting enough,
I don't know what he mean by low function. Because apparently, I mean, she's somebody, right? So obviously she would counsel people that are somebody, right? I would assume. So when it comes to low functioning in that aspect, do she mean, I guess they're talking about in a relationship, but how do you classify somebody as low functioning only having a specific conversation with them in a moment? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you low function when you don't know how to do shit. We don't know how to think a certain way. We don't know how to put their thinking skills into actual reality. Because some people don't know how to do that. And it stops them from being able to do day-to-day stuff that their partner might want or might need or might like.
Facts. Yeah. I see what she said.
I would say that there are 70% low functioning women, 40% low functioning men.
What? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with those low functioning men, did they ever say that a man of high function will never really know true love?
No, I don't even believe that, but no.
Okay. So, what identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up. When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you, okay? She wants you because she wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's gonna show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is gonna show up too, mine is gonna show up too. And so that's why I always say, I want a hybrid. I want a hybrid for y'all out there who wanna know, meaning a man who's high functioning enough to meet my healthy high functioning, but low functioning enough to deal with me when my abandonment inflames, to deal with me when some of my dysfunctions that I'm still working on inflame. Because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with folks who are not being fully authentic within themselves. Meaning you may have a loving relationship, but you won't have a real intimate, deep, vulnerable relationship. I'm a woman who seeks connection and vulnerability. I'm not into casualties or casual sex, just TMI or not, meaning I like the depth of things. And so I need you to see me. I need you to see my broken. I want you to see my heart, whatever that comes with, and I'm not embarrassed about it. I'll tell you about it, I'll show it to you, and I'm okay with a man who can facilitate it. But what a high functioning man may do is if he's all the way high functioning, he has already cut off the side of him that is authentic, and there's a superficialness there that won't allow him to connect with a real person. So can he still love and experience love? Yeah, love has it just loves everything. But will he experience the depth of some of the wholeness of love, meaning the down, the up, the ugly, the heaven, the hell Mom was talking about? No. And let me say this really quick, and this is why trauma bonds usually feel like the most intense, in love, deepest relationships, because you got two at the epitome of vulnerability, pain pocket people who are bonding. And most people who are low functioning are exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. Doesn't make it bad for being who they are, exactly who they are. That's their pain, their trauma, they gonna flee, they gonna scream, they gonna hit, they gonna do whatever comes up. Right? Fuck it, I'm mad. And whatever comes up, they there. There's no awareness, there's no stop, there's no nothing. I'm triggered, I'm inflamed, we just go there, let's tear this thing up. Right? High functioning only means, Cam, that I feel them same feels. I still feel, excuse my language, you got me fucked up. I'm ready to go there. I'm flamed, I'm triggered. It's all there, right? But it's still dormant. It's still in me. And high functioning means I can regulate those emotions. Watch this and say, okay, right now I'm ready to rip this man's head off. Right now he got me all the way fucked up. Okay, so how do I relay that message to him where it's gonna be respectful, it's gonna be non-combative, and I'm gonna disarm him? While he still knows, you got me fucked up. Because I don't have to say those words for you to know, I think I went too far with Doc. And you still feel respected and loved so that I just disarmed you and we can still have an engaging, emotionally intelligent conversation that ends in resolve, whether resolve means win-win, because resolve is really win-win, or one person wins or none and we agree to disagree and we can still go to the cigar lounge and have a drink and you have your cigar. But low-functioning people gonna tear this thing up with no emotional regulation. They're also gonna choose a person who does it with them and allows them to do it. Because I only can do to you what you allow me to do. Because if I start cutting up in here and you say, Doc, we love you, love to have you here, but you gotta go and you're not welcome back, is no pun intended, that's not our culture here. Guess what, I can't do that again. And that's not called fleeing. You emotionally, intelligently said, Doc, love you here, you're a great guest, but that's not our culture. We don't do that here. Now I have a choice to make. Do I want to be in a relationship with Cam? Do I want to be welcome back here? Self-inventory. You just did me the best favor you could have ever did. By excusing me, you blessed me. Because now I got to look at myself and say, what needs to be done for me to fit in this? Now let's flip it. I'm with a dude who's turned up. He's a womanizer. He got all these women. He spend money on me. He treat me good. And what you said earlier, he D's me down. You didn't say you would D me down, but use the D word, clarity. He D's me down. And so I come in and I tell him, no, I'm just like, I'm not a woman. I'm like wholesome. I'm not into casual sex. I don't do all that, but I'm in love with him. And he lets me know, check this out, baby. Daddy love you. There's a place for you here, but not like that. You got to be able to do these things. Check back in when you can. That woman has a choice to make too. She goes and takes self-inventory and says, do I want to do these things so I can fit in with daddy? Or do I want to stay true to who I am? Either way, it's a choice. But high-functioning people have the ability to take a step back internally, not physically, process what they feel, hear their emotions in the real space that they're saying, because my emotions curse people out and things all day. But I regulate it, code switch it, deliver the message so you're receptive to it and you feel it with love, but I'm saying the same damn thing I was saying in here. And now we have a relationship. Now we have respect. And now we good. And now, like your mama said, because I love that quote, tell her that, please, I love that. We can go to heaven together and we can take this journey to hell as well.
But no, it's, are you willing to go to hell?
No, I just said both.
Yeah.
Both.
So, but I don't think my question was clear, or the answer wasn't clear as far as a high-functioning woman.
Yeah.
And
It's simple. High-functioning woman feels the same thing a low-functioning woman feels. She does two things differently. High-functioning woman can regulate her emotions to articulate it so it comes out with emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And she uses what she feels, okay, and chooses with her healthy self and not her dysfunctional self.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
Now, explain to me what a high-functioning man is.
A high-functioning man, identical to a woman. He can feel what he feels, he regulates his emotions, and he chooses how he's going to deliver that message so that woman receives it and she's not armed and now we're at war. That's what a high-functioning man does. And he's also able to sit through hard, challenging conversations without fleeing or abandoning that woman, and using his emotional intelligence that says, I hear you and I understand you. But baby, I don't agree with that one part.
There's a lot of things that I don't agree with
I don't agree with that.
in this conversation.
Yeah.
Going back to what I said, with that 40% of men who are high functioning that you counsel, what I said was, most men understand this. We don't really find true love because It's what can you do for me? Because a man's job is to provide. Now, this is where most high vibrational man, high functioning man go through. As far as being emotionally intelligent, that still does not qualify you as being
It's supposed to be
high
play
vibrational.
action.
The thing that
This dumbass game.
is often said on two
That's supposed to be a
two
play
counterparts, two species, from a woman, it's about self-worth, how I feel. I'm not gonna allow you to treat me like this. I'm not gonna allow you to talk to me like this. I know my non-negotiables. I know my worth. Fine. That are all qualifying things for any woman to say to herself or to the universe, I'm high vibrational. Now, the thing for me is that doesn't qualify for men because you can have all the emotional intelligence, all the trigger points to be able to communicate. But if you stand at your mama house, all that's out the door. You understand what I'm saying? So society dictates what a man's value is, respectfully, and it's shameful to say it that way, but that's the surface level identifier of a high vibrational man amongst other things. Now, these things are what women always say, oh, well, I'm not doing this, or yeah, this, that, and the third, and that's fine. But different rules for different species.
You're like, that's fine.
So that's where I'm saying to you, it's like, okay, for that 40% or that 70% of high vibrational women, it's a little bit, the rules are a little different for men. And you can't say it's not because it actually is. All that, he's fit, girl, I mean, everything. I mean, this, that, and the third. But Dr. Bryant ain't gonna talk to no guy that can, number one, protect her physically, emotionally, and gives her the stability to live her life as she see fit. And that's where the high vibrational man steps in, and we don't need that from a high vibrational woman. So that's my caveat.
Okay, got it. You made a lot of really good points. So a man living in his mama house means he's low value, but can still be high functioning. High functioning and high value man are two different things. High valued man is more about value. What are you offering financially? What can you do for me? How can you provide for me? It has nothing to do with emotions. This is why you have a lot of high valued women and men who are extremely low functioning. It is statistically known that high valued women, not functioning, high value women, meaning powerhouse, makes money, elected official, doctor, lawyer, entrepreneur, whatever she does, she's just killing it. She does well. Educated, not educated, she just does her thing financially. She's high valued. Often end up with low functioning men.
Why?
And it's because she has high value, she doesn't have high function. Law of attraction we attract who we are despite of who we think we are. So the man living in his mama's house that you described, right? That's based on society, that's a low value man.
Reality, not
That's
society.
fine, you can say reality. I'm fine with that, yeah. Right. Value is not a functioning. High functioning is how you function. Had nothing to do with money or where you live or how you drive.
Right.
Okay, value is the word value because it's it's what you said. How valuable are you? How valuable are you, sis? What you bringing to the table?
Okay, now.
Those are two different things.
I just want to stop you right there before I lose my. If the man doesn't have high value,
Yes.
he will not spark the interest of no woman. Let's just put it like that. So it runs
Then answer this
in
question.
conjuncture.
Why are most low value? And low value man just means, I'll go street terms, broke.
Yes.
Okay? They're married. Them Negroes are married.
But you can't
hold
say
on, hold
that's
on.
a subjective
no,
thing.
No, that's
you
not.
can't
That's
say
the,
most because that's not true.
Statistically, when it comes to socioeconomics, Google it, have somebody here on your team pull it up. Socioeconomically, women, Google it, predominantly black women, socioeconomically, are exceeding when it comes to money, street term, bread. Hold on. That means if they marry, they're married to a man who's making less money, no money, or broke money. Hold on. Now, low-valued men are married to somebody, whether she low, high, whatever. He got him a wife. And let me go a little further. And usually, if you don't have a wife, he got a whole hell lot of kids by different women.
Watch out now. Watch out, you're speeding.
Yeah, I am.
You're speeding.
I'm poking
We
speed.
going there. Hold on. Let me take this.
So let me finish
Let me
this.
take this. Let me take this glove off.
Let me finish this point. So again, low-valued men, meaning street term broke, they're married. And they oftentimes, if not more than often, have multiple kids by multiple men. Okay?
Woman, whoa.
No. I'm going
kick
somewhere.
For the win.
Low,
That's
you
how
said
you
By
do
multi-
that
oh no, I'm going somewhere with that. They have multiple kids by multiple men. Hold on. And women. We in a whole different society. You talking about reality.
No. You said low vibrational men are married with multiple.
Let me say it again. They're married, and if they're not, they usually have multiple kids with multiple women. Hold on. And I'm going somewhere with this.
Because part of communicating
Have multiple men.
is
Meaning that men
let
and
me
women
know
are
what's
choosing
going on, or
low-valued men. That's subjective.
anything. Like, you got 5
Because in
people
the
job, you
society
don't
we
say
live in
shit.
today, you have a lot of
It's a
different
problem. You know what I'm
dynamics
saying?
of polyamorous, different dynamics of relationships. And when you're talking about men today and women, I'm not just knocking on the men, relationships don't just go one way. And we're talking about a low-valued man. We're not just talking about heterosexual men, right? I could talk about the whole gamut. Do I have to stay in one pocket? I'm just asking because I
No,
will.
ma'am.
Okay. So
Take it
again, low-valued men
I take cheating on
don't have to be. They could be high functioning and low value is what I'm saying. So a man living in his mama's house is low value. He could be high functioning. Hold on. So how does he attract a woman who's high functioning?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's high functioning.
I'm saying in
He
the sense
attracts a
that
high functioning
typically,
woman. Hold on. The high functioning woman is
Unless you
also high
already know
value,
going into the
meaning she has
situation,
money, a lifestyle, and a
if
high
the
quality of
other
life.
person cheating, it's
And she's
typically
high
with one other
functioning.
person.
All she
You know what I'm
needs
saying?
is a high functioning
Now, I'm not
man.
saying that's
She
in
ain't
all
worried about a
cases,
man
typically
who also
it's
has
one
high
other
value.
person. So I could deal with
A lot of women
that,
operate
right?
like that who are powerful. I'm sure you've been in rooms with powerful women
Because
who
shit
have
happens, right?
husbands
Like,
who you have said, if not you,
shit
many have said,
But
how did he
if
get her?
that-
Wait a minute.
no,
And it's not
but
even a
if
looks
that
thing.
happened and
It's down to,
you
oh,
can't
I'm going to go
communicate,
with
like,
a
hey,
really good friend of mine's, Oprah and Stedman.
this was going on.
Mama, oh, you know I love you.
whatever, This, what's
But
from work,
Oprah's
like,
power.
you know,
Power.
Because think about
You
it.
think Stedman's low functioning or low value?
If
Stedman is low
with
value. He
somebody
ain't
at
low
work,
functioning, baby.
I'm not finna be like, you
There's a
gotta quit your
difference.
job.
He's low value based
That
on,
would be
I'll use your
dumb.
word,
Like,
reality.
You know what I'm saying? When
Because
I'm beat buddy up at your job.
regardless if
That
he
don't- that
makes
don't
good
even make
money,
sense.
he ain't making Oprah money.
You know what I'm
Nobody's
saying?
making Oprah
Especially
money.
in
So
a
he's low
situation where
valued compared to
today,
that.
them
But
paychecks
Stedman is
matter,
not
shit.
low
Like,
functioning.
And
Oprah's not.
Stedman is not low value
So,
either.
you know,
Everybody's
you gotta
low
make
value
a few
compared
different decisions,
to Mama
but,
O. Let's just
Right.
say that.
So,
That's,
right.
That's something
So,
easy to fix because
Stedman,
it could be an open relationship.
and it's
It could
subjective
it could
again.
either form into
Stedman,
an open
in
relationship,
his
'cause that's what's
relationship,
communicating and that's what
we
it
can't
is.
say marriage, in his relationship is low value to his powerhouse, high value, high
But that's not a good
functioning woman.
example, though.
That is a great
it just-
It's
example.
not because
Because it
anybody
happens-
It
is
just
going to be
depends
low
on-
value to
Cam, who
Oprah.
house do they
Like
live in?
everything got
Okay,
rules, right?
where's
It
Stedman's-
just
where's
depends
Stedman's house?
on
I have no idea.
That's my
what the
point.
rules
That
of
is my
your
point.
Can you give me another example?
That is my point.
Let's
Yes,
not
I
use
did.
that one because that's not a
Okay,
reality.
another
Like
example.
Oprah is living in the
Okay, wait, another
half
exa-
percent
another-
of
that's
the
fine.
world, not just the
That
1%,
ain't
less
the-
than
that ain't the-
the
that ain't what
1%.
they- that ain't what-
Because
that ain't what you want
anybody,
in them situations.
myself included, if we were to date a woman of Oprah's
You want a relationship
magnitude,
with both of
it's
them.
never
It's
going
not
to be
really a
enough. I'm going to
situation
be
where
on
it's like
her
a
jet. I'm going to be on her
exclusive
yacht.
thing,
I'm
and
going to
nobody
be
in that situation is asking
at
to
her
be
functions.
exclusive.
It,
You know what I'm saying?
I would be a fucking fool
But that's
Yeah.
to
not,
think.
So that's not always the case. You look at Jay-Z and you look at Beyonce. Jay can be on B's lot, B can be on Jay's lot. So my whole point to drive this point is that
developed
low
into that?
value or high
Yeah, and it
value, low
developed
function,
into
high
a
function, two different
relationship.
things,
So
two
now
different
y'all not in a
identities.
relationship no
Low
more.
value has to do with money and
Well, no,
quality
y'all
of life,
could be. You
fiduciary.
just understand what the
Functioning has to do with
relationship is
how
now.
do you function
Like-
innately,
because
emotionally,
it depends
psychologically as a
on
human
what you
being.
in the
And so
relationship
if
for.
you
You know what
have
I'm saying? At that
billions
point,
of
you gotta
dollars,
understand, depending
Donald
on
Trump
who the person
is low functioning.
every
He just
situation
happens to
don't
be high
end
value
up
in the
blowing
sense
up
of his
situation.
wealth.
You know what I'm
But he's
saying? So-
extremely low functioning.
That's
but
subjective.
Stipulations on
that's
that
fine. No,
depends.
and I'm not
But
for or against him. I'm
for the
not for
most
or against
part,
Trump. I'm just using
Right.
someone,
If
and again,
it
we're
depends
having
on
a
what
conversation, so
cereal
everything's
mean.
going to be
Correct.
subjective.
At what
So
point
I'm
did it
speaking
become
about the
cereal,
difference so that we can clear it
at
up.
what
Just
point
because
did
a
the
woman is high
relationship
functioning doesn't mean she's successful
not be understood
financially or career-wise.
as-
Just because a man is high functioning doesn't mean that either. Just because someone
That's
is
what it
high
was. Like, you know what I'm
valued
saying?
doesn't
Like,
mean that
it's-
they have
'cause at
a
that
certain
point, it's
level of
available on
functioning.
both
You have a
sides.
lot of people
And
that
if
do
y'all
good in
still
the
wanna be
boardroom,
together because
high
that's what y'all
IQ,
know, right? But
high
y'all allow
functioning interpersonal
other shit to
relationships,
go on,
but cannot
that's-
function at
you know
home
what
in
I'm
their
saying? If
marriage.
that's within the
And
rules
so
of what y'all doing.
those two are not relevant to each other, is what I'm saying.
I feel like
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you another
if
thing
you
that's not
allow
relevant to each other.
this person was cheating on
A
you,
high-value
this
woman
person was cheating
will
when y'all
never
was in a
acknowledge
relationship.
a low-value
So
man.
you are allowing
So Oprah,
this
Well, let me
person
say
hold
this.
on,
You're-
hold
but
on,
Cam,
hold
you're a
on.
man.
Hold on, hold on.
You can't speak
I'm
from a
speaking,
woman's
I'm
perspective.
speaking on reality.
High-valued women
I feel
Okay.
like that
acknowledge,
person
notice,
holds no
sleep with,
value
and date
anymore.
low-value
Why would I
men
get back in a
all the
relationship with you?
time.
Why
One,
not
I'm in
you
room
allow
with
me to
them,
be in a
with
relationship? Now I wanna
high-valued
get in a
women.
relationship with you
Two,
Yeah, it could be
I am a
kids
high-valued
involved,
woman,
it could be
and I
some
have at some
financial shit
point
involved,
dated a
like, it
man
could be a few
who
different
was
things that's
low
like-
value, meaning he wasn't living with his mama, but
Right,
his
do you understand? Like I
income,
said, do you
socioeconomic
understand what
status
the relationship
wasn't anywhere
is
where
at
somebody
that
would
point?
go,
Because
Doc, really?
now
He didn't
on
have a
your end
title
of things,
up
you
to
can
the
do
caliber
shit
of
and handle
mine.
shit
He
a little
wasn't
bit
in rooms and
differently, but y'all
boardrooms. He
still
wasn't sitting there
understand
with
whatever y'all
Congress,
was
elected
doing,
officials, and making
you know,
moves and making legislation
whatever
and,
it is at this
and
point,
resolutions like myself. And so
but
at that time,
it's then
I was a
available on
woman
the
who was high
opinions, and it's
value,
kinda
okay, and high functioning,
whatever at that
who
point.
was dating a man who was high
I think
functioning,
shit, I don't know.
but low value, but didn't
But
live
you're
with
right,
his
the
mother. And for
relationship
me,
definitely
what
wasn't the
he
same.
was providing in the sense of our companionship was great in that season.
Which was what?
I fuck with it.
What do you mean, which was what?
What was he providing you?
The functionality, the emotional intelligence.
functionality?
The what?
I'm asking you.
You're asking me.
Because
Wait, what did you?
I need to
What
go
word did
somewhere
you say?
Functionality.
You're asking me, was he making love to me
Yes.
good?
Yes.
If the sex was good?
Yes.
The sex was great.
Now let me tell
Yeah,
you
it
this.
wasn't the best I had, but it was great.
But this goes to my point.
But that wasn't all. You asked a question.
Yes, but I'm making a point here.
So you want me to
Even though
finish what he was
just
providing?
press a pause.
Okay.
Just press the space bar real
go
quick.
for it?
Y'all for sleep down.
Even though you were entertaining him sexually, you will never be saw with that man because he don't fit my standards. That doesn't mean you can't entertain him.
First of all, that's not true. So I'm the source. I'm the woman. I'm the one who was dating him. I'm going to speak from that source, not you. So as the source who was dating him, that's not true. We were seen in public. We were seen on red carpets when I was co-producing my show, as well as on Camera Psychologist with the biggest show on TV, Teen Mom Family Reunion on MTV. We did a lot of that. And we didn't enter a relationship where we led by sex, so I was tied to the sex is so good, this is what we're doing. I would have just ran that play with saying we're just sexing, let's leave it there, I'm grown. I could do that. His functionality, his intellect, his high functioning is what attracted me. As that functionality continued to be attractive and foreplay me, my body started to want him. That happened about 8 months into us having a companionship. And so I'm not saying anyone who does it the first day, I'm not knocking no one, I'm just telling the reality of how we worked it out. So by the time we were intimate, the actual act wasn't all that, but our connection, our functionality, our intimacy, all the foreplay for 8 months made that sex amazing. Because it's subjective on what turns who on. And for this subject, what I'm turned on by is high functioning. I'm turned on by a man who's mature enough, emotionally intelligent enough to be a hybrid, an alpha, a submissive, a man who understands that. So for me, that's what he was feeding me, my foreplay of what turns me on as me as a woman. And so, yes, I not only entertained, but I was very much involved in that relationship.
With that
Yes.
remedy or that ingredient that most people do, it's going to run its course.
That's fine. But who cares? Marriage runs its course. Our divorce rate is high.
But listen to the point that I'm trying to make. As a high-valued woman, she's never going to entertain a man that is not also high value. Now,
It's not true.
I will say it like this. Even though he has high function, to sustain the relationship, that high function will run its course if that's all you have. So you being who you are, you attract a certain type of man. Me being who I am, I can take anybody and transform them into who I want them to be. A woman cannot do that.
That's not true.
In most cases.
That's not true.
Okay, she's not willing.
No, I'm saying that no man can take a woman and transform her into what he wants her to be. She came in and is willing to allow you to tell her what you want and sure submit to those. You're not God, and you're not the potter maker. So your hands ain't on no pot, sweetie, taking a woman and conforming. You just don't have that power. You probably would like to, but you don't have that power. You can take her, like I just said before, with the womanizer and the guy who, me being in your studio, and say, baby, these are the qualifications, and she chooses, which is her free will to never be yours, to hit them points or not. And when she chooses to hit them points, you then choose to keep her or you choose to shake her. Because you can never take water, you can never take water, baby, and make this 7-Up. You can pour it out and fill it back up, but this will never turn to what you wanted. You're not Jesus. You ain't turning water to wine. That's not how it happens. Now, you can't take a woman and make her what you want. You can tell her what you want, and I'm gonna give her power back, and she'll choose to be that. But you don't get the power of saying you made her that, whether an entrepreneur or a mother or a wife. She chooses to let you do that by telling you, I'll submit to those orders. There's a difference. Now, with the man, a high-valued woman can do the same thing with the man. Baby, you want to be here? This is the qualifications. This is what I need, the prerequisites. He can say yes or he can say no. Either way. But if he chooses to do that, then that's his choice, and she got what she wanted. It's all about conduciveness. Is it conducive or not?
Right.
However, we don't potter nobody. And that's where the disconnect comes in at, with people who are high valued but low functioning.
But I don't want
Hold on, high value but low functioning. The high value, low functioning, I'm gonna say it again, y'all stick with me. High value, low functioning thinks the high value can attract the low functioning, and the low functioning and that high value person thinks they can potter the low functioning and mold them to be what they want. It don't work like that at all. That person still chooses to become what you're telling them you want them to be. That's still their power, and they can take it back when they want. And let me hit on something else you said. You said that high functionality will run its course. I believe the opposite.
Without value. See, this is where you keep trying to skew my words or my intentions of my words. I'm not saying
but without value. But what I'm saying is I still don't agree with that point. I don't say your point's a bad point. I just don't agree with it.
I just think you're taking it out of my contents, my intentions for saying that. That's what I believe you're doing. And that's not my intentions. Like, you're making points of things that I did not intend.
You said high functionality will run out without value, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hitting on that point.
For a high value woman, high functioning will run its course if you do not have any value.
And I'm saying that I don't see that being the case.
Okay.
From being in my field.
But hold on, just real brief. You were saying to that analogy of you turning water into 7-Up. I never thought that I was God or Jesus to be able to control.
But when you say I could take a woman and make her what I want, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. You're taking me and making me what you want. You're taking Jessica and making her what you want. It doesn't matter. You cannot turn water to wine. That's her power. She comes in, you tell her what you want, and she chooses to do that.
All right, so
And
I
if she
appreciate
becomes
that
that, it's
opportunity.
because of her
I'm finna
choice.
pass up.
Because the day she chooses to undo that, it's undone. So it's
Can I make
still, the power is still
some
with
candles,
her.
room sprays,
No one
wax
can
melts,
take
candle
anyone and
warmers.
make them anything,
Right.
not me,
Today,
not
get your
you.
smell
No
of
one has that
comfort,
power.
But the
Thank
only
God.
reason
Comfort for
why
the
a
holidays.
person is considering
gift.
what
Get a gift
I
box.
need them to be or will prefer them to be or
Let's
would
see what
like
you
them
say.
to be is because of my value as a man. If I did not have any value.
That's not why. I love that you think that.
but
It's for
listen.
the payoff that they get. It's their payoff. Everything we
what's the
do is for
payoff?
our payoff. It's subjective. So I can say what I think. Let me say this. A woman who would be with a man of your value and become everything you want her to become, because you ain't going to make her, okay? The payoff would be she gets to be provided for. We're talking about the high value part. She gets to live in a beautiful home. She gets this high quality of life. She gets to be able to possibly have a family with a man who also, you know, has a celebrity status, right? She gets to be in the limelight somewhat. Maybe she has a business, and maybe this relationship is a strategic relationship for her. She can use this to kind of maneuver or what she has going on.
Right.
See, so the answer will be different from a high-functioning woman than a low-functioning woman. Me, high-functioning, I'm listing what I'm thinking. Strategic relationship.
For sure.
I'm a doctor.
For
I
sure.
can move in. I got limelight. You have a lot of limelight.
Right.
You know, retired NFL player. Okay, in my opinion, Hall of Famer. You know, so we got things that can benefit me as a payoff because I'm a professional who's high functioning.
Yes.
I'm not looking at it like I can nest and you move in, put my feet up, and now I can live free. Now, another woman subjectively could think that that's the value, but there's a payoff for why we do anything we do in life. We all have a pay, and it doesn't make it bad. That's life. It's always an exchange of, I will submit to these things that Cam wants because these are the things that I know would come with me submitting.
Yeah, but that's what goes back to the original statement.
Yes.
Will a man really understand true love? Because when you identify those things, it was how can I benefit from the situation? He has high status, I have high status.
Right.
I'm have a business, it matches that. So to my point, when I'm saying I can make a woman in regards to that, I see way too many times a high value man takes a low functioning woman or a low value woman and increase her status overnight. Now, it's still a process. It's still a level
Right.
of submission from both sides,
Right.
not just a female
Right.
side, but also the male side. And also, there's a patience that goes into that to be like, yo.
Wait, hold on. Depending on the negotiation, because some of that stuff, I'm saying could move fast because everyone's negotiation process is different. You know what I mean,
sure.
Cam? Meaning if we coming in saying, okay, Cam, this is a strategic dating thing, we both know it, we gonna have this all planned out, we just gonna hit these points. Meaning that would come into fruition a lot sooner because we're clear on the plan. Versus if I came in without you knowing my plan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Cam, yeah, hey. It may be a little longer process, I agree.
Yeah.
But you keep saying the man thing, which I love, that will a man ever really experience true love?
Right.
My answer to that two-part answer, one, I'm not a man.
Right.
And I believe that a woman should stay in her place when it comes to answering men's question from a place of being the source and instead say my opinion. Just like I think a man also should stay in his place when answering questions about us because y'all not us, you don't know. But you can say in my opinion, in my experience or what I think. So I would hope that men could experience real love. However, I believe that it would take more than a high functionality. It would take more than high valueness. It would take more than being able to come in and, you know, make a woman or make a man, whoever we want them to be. Being in love and feeling and experiencing that fully is more about how open and vulnerable we have already allowed ourselves to be with ourselves.
Right.
Right? So meaning I receive love from you at the level of receptivity I already am when I come and meeting you. Whether it's friendship, business, romantic, you can't love me deeper than I love myself. Let me word that better. You can feel the love deeper for me than I love myself. I won't receive it and feel it past the level that I love myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So where the disconnect comes out, not with us, but with people, is you telling me like, you know, Doc, like I love you with everything. Like I'm giving you the world. Like no, I'm loving you like I've never loved any. Like, and if I'm unlovable and I haven't worked through my stuff, and I don't have the awareness to say, but baby, it ain't your love that is the issue. It's my ability to receive it and be topped off. Now, if I said that to you as my partner, which is that emotional intelligence just means I understand myself and I'm able to articulate who I am, in most cases, that would make you love me more and have a better understanding and try to help me, I would think, figure out how to get those barriers, right?
Unlock some things.
Barriers so that you can just, I could receive your love.
Right.
And then in return, I'm able to reciprocate it at a deeper level for you, because this is the thing, if you're already loving me deeper than I can feel, that means that your love tank is already deeper. That means you're a gallon and I'm a pint. So if your gallon, right, poured everything into my pint,
It's gonna overflow.
it's gonna overflow, and and even though it's amazing, right, I can't, it's overwhelming for me, Cam, I can't take it.
I've seen that analogy,
Right.
and I received that. But
Right.
to even make it more clear cut, what I mean by a man not having or not really identifying true love,
Yeah.
is because men's love is almost predicated on transaction
Versus relational.
versus
Relational.
emotions.
Yeah, which
you
is
see what I'm saying?
emotional.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
unlock these things
Yeah.
when there is a transaction here where it's like, okay, even if I'm low functioning, what picks up my slack is the ability to be high value.
There you go.
And then, which goes back to my point, to a woman won't do that for a man. And that's just the reality.
Won't do what part?
She won't go to the depths of understanding, like, yo, even though I have a high functioning man,
Okay.
if he doesn't provide value, then that function will run its course. Because if you're dealing with a high function and a high value woman, as we've identified her to be, those things will then need that matched. And more times than not saying that it's not capable or incapable of happening, these things have a deadline where it's like, okay, what are we really doing?
But I also, that goes to my point of saying that pain needs things, trauma needs things, healing wants. So when you have a woman who is healed and ain't perfect, okay, not perfect, just healed, done the
Right.
work, she would be able to sustain any relationship that she's in with another human, regardless of where they are, functionality, value-wise, who is also just willing to sustain it.
Right.
Because she doesn't need him to do anything. She knows how to attach to the things that she wants in him. And from the beginning of meeting him, before we got to being married and being intimate, I've already identified, I want that, and that in you. We're talking about now, not tangible things.
Yeah.
I want these things in you. These 5-hour conversations we have all night after I've seen clients for 12 hours,
Yeah.
baby, that recharges me to get up and kill the day. That's more important to me. I'm just speaking, maybe it's not me, but that's important to me.
You speaking.
When I come home and I'm able just to lay up under you, and you're funny as hell and start joking, and I wasn't in no mood to joke, but you light me up, that's what I want in you. That's what I want. And so my healed part is picking the parts that are now feeding the healed in me. So I don't really need you to do anything outside of the functionality that I'm wanting from you. Now, when you come in and say, I say to you, baby, I want to go to Bora Bora, and you say, you know, daddy can't afford that, right? Do I turn and say, you ain't daddy? Hold on. Or do I do like Monique does with her husband and still call you daddy? Now, if you're asking me, subjective, well, whoever I choose, wherever he is, high or low or medium value, I hope he's a hybrid like myself, he's daddy, and I love him. And I'm choosing from a place of being healed now, so I'm choosing what I know that I want long-term and not need for the season that my pain is in. See, I chose my ex-fiancés based on what the abandoned young woman needed in that season. I had no idea what I wanted. Healing introduces you to what you want. Pain and trauma eclipse what you want. It's always there, eclipse that. So as a woman now, do I want a man who is high functioning and high value and all those things? I mean, that would be great, but if I met a man who had what I wanted, not because I don't need it, but what I wanted, would I treat him any different than a man who's a billionaire? I'm gonna treat him better, because it's not because I have money and I don't need the money. I'm saying that when you think of longevity, okay, this is the problem. People are picking for the season. I'm not, but I'm 35 and I'm in my prime and I want to live a certain quality of life and I want to go on trips. That's what you want at 35, baby. But you ain't made it to 50 or 60 yet. And this is where what you were saying, as far as you have wise counsel around you. You got women like your mama who would say, baby, listen, you might choose him at 35, but that man ain't gonna be
with him at 55.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. So my thing is, a healed woman or man, we're choosing now for 55, 60, and 70, and 80. I'm choosing now the father for my kids. I'm not getting pregnant and then going, Cam, so you don't change diapers? These are conversations, these are foreplay conversations to me when I'm dating you. It's, so how do you feel about kids? What religion do you feel our kids should be? Do you think private school or this?
Just drop the big bag on private school.
And but for me, that's what I'm saying, the functionality does matter. For me, these conversations are foreplay.
Yeah.
So do you believe in discipline? Are you gonna get mad if our kids have a black mom in the house and I say, get your ass off the couch? Is that a problem with you because you cursed at my kid? See, this is foreplay for me. So when I say conversations that are high functioning look like that for me, if this is feeding me and we end up married, that means you've already fed me enough where I believe you can take me to 50, 60. Not you can take my 41-year-old self to freaking Paris and buy me a Birkin and I can shine for the season. And then in your words, it runs its course. If I'm choosing for today, whatever our intention is what manifests. If I'm choosing for a meal ticket or if I'm looking for you to have an investment baby with, because that happens too, let's keep it 100.
A lot.
Okay, so then once we get together and I'm left as a single mama, knowing my intent was to get pregnant anyways, why am I gaslighting you? When I knew my intent was to come in, I didn't tell you my intent, but I knew what my intent was. I'm trying to get the bag. So we only lasting my intention, not yours. My intention runs its course. I get the baby, I get the bag, and you not there. Now I'm going, Cam's horrible. He ain't no good father. I'm just saying from that situation.
I can't relate. Let's just change that name because
that's
folks
fine.
Gonna,
but what I'm trying to explain is it runs its course.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And so for women who are choosing from a place of being healthy, we're choosing from what we want. And what we want, not just for today, what we want long-term in a partner. And again, your trauma will always choose what it needs to be fed now, which means your ego says, I need the limelight, so I'm gonna choose him for that. I need the trips. I need whatever I never had. I need to not feel abandoned right now, and this Cam's giving me the attention for my abandonment to feel cushioned. Let me choose that. And then what happens is I choose it once, it becomes a cycle. Women get comfortable in the dysfunction, which was already what I was choosing from in the first place. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just nest in dysfunction, knowing that I can't get nowhere in this. Because whether dysfunction runs its course or it keeps running its course, either way, it's unhealthy.
See, this is where, and we gotta keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But I would say this, to that point that you just made, I think men find or should find a lot of value in resumes of women to say, you mean to tell me you don't got nobody that your parents ain't, your auntie ain't, your closest friend, she ain't in a relationship? Okay, cool. But also as a woman, I'm about to procreate with a man. He already got multiple kids that he's not taking care of. Where's the accountability? So you are literally saying, I'm going to be the difference maker in this situation.
And how often does that happen?
A lot.
How often does that person become the difference maker?
No.
None. It almost never happens.
So move this discussion right along.